Ooh, there's a mangonel in there. Gotta be careful. Oh, these skirmishers are getting sandwiched. That's a big mangonel hit. Another big hit. Oh my gosh. And here we are. Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first game in this game's Games of the Week. I've been away from the series for a bit because we've been doing Doubles Age, and then the last month I've been traveling. Went to San Francisco recently to visit some friends. Wanted to do that before I go off to school. And yeah, so I haven't been casting for the last month. I'm back. Probably going to be focusing more on Games of the Week. There's no more Voobly official sponsored tournaments anymore. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting back to casting 1v1s that haven't been casted by anyone else, and some really excellent games. We do cast a lot of games with the tournaments. A lot of them are very excellent, and of course they have the hype of a tournament, being for cash prize, of course with aspiring experts. A lot of players that really need more recognition because it takes a long time to get up to 2K3, 2K4 rating. And not always do you have the chance to compete for a cash prize or recognition. So I think that was a very important thing. But I'd like to get a little bit more towards 1v1s now and just casting some excellent games. And who better to cast than the two players that are at the top of the 1v1 ladder. Yes, I didn't misspoke. It's actually Dogao and MBL. MBL, that should be no surprise to anyone. Dogao's been at the top of the 1v1 ladder for quite some time. He's always performed well in tournaments. Always been very well respected and a very great player. But Dogao is fairly new to the top of the 1v1 ladder, at least in recent times. He's always been a strong player, but did take a bit of a hiatus, where he wasn't at like quite the top of the 1v1 ladder, but now he's in top form, and he performed really well in the Hidden Cup, where he defeated, I think he defeated Valise like 3-0, and then almost defeated Leary. I think doing like either like a 3-4 or a 2-3, or I think 2-3 against Leary in Hidden Cup. And he could have won that last game also. So he's super strong right now. And it's good to see such a top level player come back and really do as well as he's done. We have a Huns and Ethiopians war. Dogao playing as the Huns, and MBL playing as the Ethiopians. The Huns are typically one of the most well-respected civilizations on Arabia. Because we used to watch a ton of Huns wars back in Age of Conquerors days. They're still very good. And I expect to see either a Scout Rush or a Dark Age Rush Men-at-Arms kind of rush from the Huns. But with this forward gold, all these forward golds, I certainly expect to see a Scout Rush. It's a more aggressive build. Dogao might have the extra hit on that Scout, so MBL is going to come back. Actually trying to find as many resources as he can and then come back to his base to hopefully save a scout. So I expect to see a Scout Rush from the Huns player. From the Ethiopians, very much expected to see a Men-at-Arms rush. This gold is horrible for MBL, and that's what you don't want as an Archer-reliant civilization. You're absolutely going to need a lot of gold for Archers. Luckily, the Ethiopians do get 100 extra food and gold when they advance to the next age, so that'll help out their Men-at-Arms rush quite a bit, and maybe delay them a little bit towards getting towards that gold. It'll be oh so important. But these maps are pretty horrendous. All the golds are forward, stones are forward. This should be a very, I would say, map control heavy kind of game. Very aggressive kind of game. And that's what I look forward to seeing. Where did I get this game, by the way? Nimino posts every week on AoE's, not every week, every month on AoE's own Games of the Month. This was one of the games that wasn't casted, and I don't believe anyone's casted it. And since it's a wreck, I do like to go up to like 55 speed. Let's take a look at scouting. MBL, with that weakened scout, has actually not seen the main gold, but he might be able to infer that it's in this area. Not the best scouting from MBL, but I think he can see the critical resources. These two secondary golds being forward is very telling of the position that that Dogao is in. And importantly, Dogao has seen the barracks of MBL. MBL even getting a few extra hits on that scout, so now they should be on even HP. 28 HP, 33 HP for MBL, so actually a little bit more. Not surprising at all, MBL's going for a Dark Age Rush. Although men-at-arms is a little more common these days. Glad you're hyped, BLO. Here comes that men-at-arms rush. Might run into a wolf depending on how the difficulty level is on this game. Yeah, line of sight of the wolf is dependent on the difficulty. It's the only thing that matters, I think, with respect to the difficulty of the game settings. And look at these walls from Dogao. Sure, they're doing a great job walling out the men-at-arms or the militias, but they don't do anything for securing the gold, and that's what the scouts are for. But on the other hand, if MBL is able to keep these militias alive, upgrade to men-at-arms, add a spearman, then Dogao might have some real trouble reclaiming his gold. MBL is going up to the next stage quite late. I can't imagine this is a fast castle. He's got a lot of food and a lot of farms. Maybe it is a fast castle. This is a very risky strategy from MBL. And unless Dogao... Oh, Dogao's already quick walled that up. That's nice. And look at this micro. Very close, very close. That scout almost killing the scout of MBL, but MBL just debating him a little bit. Coming back, and now MBL is the one with the scouting information. Not too bad, as Dogao is going to be making scouts of his own. He knows these militias don't stand any threat, so they're going to go straight to the base of MBL, who's doing this very greedy build. So with the gold like this, you'd almost never want to do some sort of strategy like this. However, MBL's had a successful Dark Age rush. And he's going to have that extra 100 food, 100 gold to get up to the next stage. And it looks like he will have the resources for a fast castle. The question is, how much damage does he take? He'll need to build a spearman right away to help defend. And this wood line is not looking very good. It's a single lumber camp on top of the hill. Alright, so there's the archery range. Not in an ideal position. Ideal position might be along this cliff. That's hardly important right now. And there's that spearman. Resources are looking good for this Ethiopian fast castle. What is Dogao's plan going to be? Dogao's going to send some villagers forward. And is probably going to try to tower this gold. And in fact, it's an archery range blacksmith. The Dogao is adding an archery range back at home. Let's check Dogao's resources. What are they looking like? They're not too good. They're not too good at all. And it still might be worth it to upgrade to those men-at-arms. It's quite a bit of food, but with these villagers coming forward, that might be the game for MBL. And I was told this game was good. Maybe I was lied to. Maybe MBL is just going to get a successful fast castle and is going to close out this game. Alright, here comes Dogao. Hasn't been seen quite yet. Now, this is where a Ethiopian outpost would be very useful. Ethiopians get +3 line of sight. No, I think it's +3 line of sight on their towers only. Why it's not that outpost, also, I have no clue. So here's a great tower from Dogao. Going to take away the only wood line of MBL. And might even attack some of these gold miners, but not all of them. And so far, I haven't seen... There's maybe a few archers in this archery range for MBL. 4 archers. So there's that tower. No fletching yet to attack the whole wood line. But this is a huge disruption to MBL's economy. He's going to have to rebuild another lumber camp. But so far, no critical damage done. In fact, MBL is actually going to go forward. And they could actually get caught out by these scouts and skirmishers. Here we go. Crossbow, bodkin arrow coming in. MBL's getting bodkin arrow before Dogao's even getting fletching. And these crossbows can do a lot of damage. What Dogao should have, he should have the armor on his skirmishers. That'll help them to at least not die in one shot to the crossbows. Dogao has a lot of farms, so he could be up to the next stage shortly, but he's going to go for the counterattack. Going to kill at least a few villagers. These militias still can do some damage against these skirmishers. Looks like one villager went down. I don't know if that was a successful attack. MBL has a lot of idle time on these gold miners. A couple of weak villagers. But this damage isn't too bad. Again, if if Dogao had that extra armor on his skirmishers, would have been able to do more damage. Now MBL doing damage to Dogao. Dogao forced to go over to the right side of his base. He can't. He doesn't have any more room to run. I mean, he could build some walls there. Let's see what these skirmishers can do. Again, they need that armor. But this might be enough for Dogao. MBL running away, going to get kind of caught up on that cliff, allowing the skirmishers to catch up and pick off a few crossbows. So Dogao doing a relatively good defense, also doing some damage, keeping this game close. And now finally Dogao mining his own gold. I think he doesn't have enough stone for a tower. Remember, he placed an offensive tower earlier, so this is a very risky position for Dogao. So Dogao's going to try to get the gold to get up to the next stage. Going to research wheelbarrow, which MBL still doesn't have. And Dogao's done a great job so far. He's found the army twice, picked off the army twice of MBL. But with so many skirmishers, this is leaving Dogao open to either a siege or a knight transition. MBL's playing as the Ethiopian, so he'll opt for siege because his knights are not too strong. And MBL should take an economy advantage at some point. Not quite right now, as the villager discrepancy is pretty huge. Remember, Dogao, again, just researched wheelbarrow. So this build has been very hard on MBL's economy, especially with that raid and that tower. And here comes the skirmishers. Are we actually going to see some raiding with skirmishers? I am not so sure, because we have a mangonel coming in from behind. Villagers are going to try to trap these skirmishers, and skirmishers do not fare very well against mangonels. Let's see what happens to these guys. Now that would have been a great piece of palisade. Looks like Dogao's going to escape with most of them. And Dogao's up to the next age. I think Dogao has a better position, but big raid on the gold, killing 4 villagers. 4 villagers forced to retreat towards the center of the map. No more gold income for Dogao, and these villagers are going the wrong way. Looks like MBL's not going to see in time. And there's a watchtower. That was critical. That tower needed to be up. And now these villagers are going to have to move over to the left wood line. So a very good game so far. A lot of damage, a lot of attacking and counterattacking. The economies are pretty even after that raid. And MBL will probably have a little bit... It'll probably be even, at least the early part of Castle Age. Because of this extra town center, because of the wheelbarrow upgrade. Dogao is going to make a transition to knights. He has 2 stables. What does he have in these archery ranges? He has just a few skirmishers. Elite skirmishers probably not going to be a priority, especially with killing 3 or 4 more crossbows. Let's see if this one gets away. That is a shifty crossbow. I remember Taffel Soxy. I remember. I was here then. And here comes the knights from Dogao. Tower's going to go down. Elite skirmisher as well. But the tables have turned a little bit. MBL is now getting an economy advantage, while Dogao is going to actually have the military advantage. And this is opposite of what was happening the early part of this game. Dogao investing quite a bit into these knights. Knights require a lot of food, a lot of gold. But this is a very strong army, especially if Dogao can afford +2 armor on his knights. Of course, the Ethiopian crossbow are very strong in themselves. And let's see if MBL can be able to defend. MBL looking in a great position this game. He's got 3 town centers up. He's got the economy advantage. The army's doing great right now. And in fact, if this siege workshop goes down, that'll be a heavy loss for Dogao. Dogao really relying on getting a few, maybe lucky knight raids with his group of knights. He's got to avoid those crossbows. Those crossbows are too damn strong. Back at home, Dogao going up with a 2nd town center, but his economy is not looking super strong. And here comes those knights. They're trying to find the right angle. But remember, MBL built these walls from earlier. I think it is open here. I'm pretty sure of that. But the crossbows are going to go right in there. And this is perfect timing from these crossbows. Look at that. I mean, look at how much Dogao is investing in these knights. Forging is kind of a luxury upgrade. An upgrade you only want if you're going to be raiding. What I think MBL could do to maybe solidify its position. Let's see. Got these 2 forward stones. He certainly didn't do himself any favors with these walls. I think you should probably mine just a little stone wall here. Or buy 100 stone with that market stone wall there, so you don't have to worry about that. This is an easy stone wall as well. And then you can focus your army more so on this right side. Perhaps add maybe a few pikemen, maybe not. Definitely add a 3rd and maybe 4th archer range pretty soon. And MBL is going to add a town center to the top of the hill. These crossbows have ballistics now. This is a pretty decent position for them. But that is a lot of knights. And that might be enough. That might be enough knights. Oh no. MBL not really having the army to counter out these knights. I think he needs a few pikemen right away. Here's another siege workshop for Dogao. Dogao has had nothing to do but focus on knight production. These town centers got up very late. And MBL's just stayed on 2 archery ranges. He should have added a 3rd, I think. Much earlier. And that's a great position on those crossbows. There's quite a few more, actually. For a second there, I thought MBL was going to collapse, going to lose all of his army and then get raided. But it looks like MBL has quite a few more crossbows than I thought he did. And I think this should be setting off some alarm bells for MBL that he needs to maintain his military production and solidify this top part of the hill, preventing any raidings in the future. I'm looking at MBL's economy, and I really don't like his gold saturation. This gold is about to run out, and he's not mining this gold too heavily. And he'll have to mine another gold pretty soon. Where's the 3rd gold? 3rd gold's over here, so there goes another town center. And the economy difference is not that big, surprisingly. And why it's not bigger, I'm not sure. I feel like MBL should have a lot more villagers than he has right now. Maybe a little bit of panic with that raiding. You know, sometimes scaring your opponent with the army can cause them to make mistakes with their economy, like not building enough villagers. Or sometimes they feel scrunched up in their base, so the villagers just won't work as efficiently. So if this siege workshop goes down, I think that'll be the 3rd to be lost from Dogao. Ballistics finally coming in from MBL. He built that university very early, but didn't have the resources to research it. And MBL adding actually a 2nd barracks. Now MBL needs to make sure that these archery ranges continue to add archers. The second he stops building archers is the second he dies. Here comes a few pikemen. They are going to do some work. Dogao now getting +2 armor for his skirmishers, so they're extra good against the crossbows. And pushing this force back. This is pretty close. The army value is pretty close. In a straight-up fight, it really could go either way. Looks like MBL is working himself towards a castle. That is quite a strain on his economy, having 10 or 15 villagers on stone. The castle will be very valuable, as it can lock down either this right side or this middle area of the base. This is kind of a reactive move from MBL. I think something that might have been a little easier would be a little stone wall and a little more army. And taking a look at the economy once again, still pretty close. MBL with a slight lead. And MBL's going to click up to the next stage first. A few knights coming in from the back. Going to pick off the mangonel. But these crossbows are so strong. They're so hard to get to. I'm not sure if Dogao has husbandry either. These knights are moving awfully slow. And another good engagement from MBL. So MBL has to get up this castle. There it goes. And has to get the Arbalest upgrade. But look at how this game is going. We'll see Arbalest from MBL. Look at how many skirmishers Dogao has. The problem is the Ethiopians don't really have a great counter to the skirmishers. You could go Onager, but that's a heavy investment in a 1 versus 1. And we have 2 castles on top of the hill. Dogao also mining some stone. I don't know what really the point of this castle is. It's actually a really great position. It locks down this entire area. Might be a little early for that castle. Maybe not. This castle position is so excellent. This is one of the best castle positions I've seen. So these Arbalests will not want to go past this castle at all. Unless they're going to sneak by right through there. But even then, there's a tower here. Town center's a good position. We have a winner for the worst farm position. There's supposed to be a mill there, but there's no mill. And there's that Imperial Age upgrade. Now, what MBL should do, you should research Capram right away. Or get Bombard Cannons, or get Trebuchets right away, because he needs to take out that castle. Oh, good mangonel hit. And here we go. Arbalest's going to go towards the north, where there is no castle. Oh, mangonel pops out. Oh, big hit. That was definitely worth it. Look at how weak these Arbalests are now. Oh, another huge hit. Both mangonels paying for themselves. That's hard to do when you're going against Arbalest. Oh, poor monk. Arbalest's going to go for some raids. But the skirmishers could come back. Here comes the big group of skirmishers. Now, if MBL loses his entire army, that could be game. Dogao reacting a little bit late to pull back these villagers. He's got 115, so he could lose at least a few, though. Here comes a few big upgrades. Racer, chemistry. Dogao expanding a bit towards the north, expanded towards the south earlier. MBL was kind of more in his own base. It's been a problem for him this game. And any trebuchet coming out from Dogao, yeah, trebuchet coming out. I'm not going to give up on this castle. These are Huns trebuchets. They are more accurate. Really good in a treb war. And this is a great fight for Dogao. I don't know. I think this game is trending more and more towards Dogao. I think he's done a real great job with these skirmishers. He did lose a lot of them in the Castle Age, but the choice of skirmishers is so strong against the Ethiopians, and this is such a bad fight for MBL. MBL, why aren't you watching? MBL, run! Run away! Ooh, it's too late. MBL losing most of his army. Dogao researching now Cavalier. He's going to have a great mixed army of Cavalier and Skirmisher. And MBL not even getting Catram until right now. And this is so hard. It's so hard to win a Treb war against the Huns. Because these trebuchets are going to be doing great against MBL's trebuchets. This bullet's bound to hit. Nope, that one missed actually. So MBL's got to really keep an eye on these trebuchets to repair them. Or get these Captrams in under. But I don't think these Arbalests are going to be able to support these Brams for too much longer because the elite skirmishers are in. And MBL's still no counter to the elite skirmishers, so you need something. Alright, luckily MBL's going to kill these trebuchets, get some value for his Rams. But these Cavalier might actually be able to move in. How long is the series of the played games? I have no clue. I haven't watched these games. I've just been told this game is good. Might be 4 hours good, I don't know. But Oh, castle going down from Dogao. I'll have one more game after this. I think it should last a good amount of time. Should be done around 13. Probably 15 GMT. Alright, so little victories for Dogao. He's still behind in score, but does that really mean anything? I don't think so. Dogao's mining the North Gold. Look at the map control from Dogao. Still on top of that hill. Secretly getting a few Cavalry Archer upgrades. They're actually very well upgraded. They just need Heavy Cavalry Archer now. But this position is just great. Oh no! I think MBL is thinking Shotel Warrior to counter the Skirmisher, and I am not a big fan of the Shotel Warrior. I really dislike the unit. I think it's a really cool looking unit and a cool concept, but the 30 gold cost is too much for a unit with only 40 HP. Another nice castle from MBL. Definitely needs to secure some of this map control. And these Cavalier are going to go ham. Actually, 3 castles for MBL. That's really going to help to help suppress this raiding. Shotel's going to kill off a few of these Cavalier as they run into the base. And what is this? This is 4 castles for MBL. That is a lot of castles. And those castles did a great job at suppressing that raiding. Just killed a ton of Cavalier. So that is keeping MBL into this game. Getting all these castles up. But still, MBL has to deal with this army. He's really relying on the fact that these Shotel Warriors are going to be successful. And I am not convinced of that. I don't think that MBL has enough gold to even go for Shotel Warriors. Where is he mining gold? He's mining from here. Remember, that gold over here, not too much on it. He needs to mine the extra golds. And where are they? So there's the extra gold here from Dogao. Dogao will eventually have control of this gold up there. So this is not a sustainable army for MBL. And MBL only has 1 relic. And I think this is definitely, even though the score is in favor of MBL, I think this is definitely going to be a game for Dogao. The Heavy Cavalry Archers will annihilate the Shotel Warriors. The only counter to the Cavalry Archers would be Arbalest or Skirmishers. Skirmishers are too weak, so you'd have to go Arbalest. Arbalest is another gold unit. And I think one of the big flaws of MBL's game, this game, sure he's able to defend his base fairly well with the castles, but was not able to expand out to the critical golds, such as this one. The gold position actually wasn't very favorable for MBL, unfortunately. I really needed this gold. And now Dogao. Gonna buy some siege rams. And gonna try to make a push for these castles. And it might be enough. I don't see a lot of army value from MBL. A few Arbalest, a few pikemen. So certainly 1 castle's gonna go down. Where does its research and conscription? The Shotels are just gonna melt. Not a very strong unit. These units just melt too quickly. And I think the Cavalry Archers should be able to clean this up. Of course, MBL does have the hill. Doesn't have the last armor on his archers, unfortunately, which would help out a lot. And here comes the Hussar. Any good news happening in the north? Yes! MBL is actually raiding quite a bit of Dogao's base. We'll see if this force is able to stay alive. This is not a very good raiding force. But it's good that MBL is counterattacking. Now MBL is behind in the score. Anything else going up north? Not really. And I think most of this raiding force is dead. Just at the Cavalry Archers. The Cavalry Archers are so cheap for Dogao. Dogao has all this access to gold still. Well, should, as long as he goes up to mine it. I should maybe mention that Dogao did research guilds, so I'm sure he's using the market quite heavily. The prices here. The wood price is still pretty good to sell. Oh my god, Liticor, why is your name always bright yellow? I can never see it, but I always know it's you because it's that color. Hello, welcome. And MBL, 400 gold in the bank. Getting gold from these 2 relics. I don't know how long this is going to last. Another sieger, I'm going to try to come in. And MBL's just stuck in a corner. And that's so hard to get out of when you're an archer civilization and you don't have great raiders. Shotel is not a great raider. You never want to just be stuck in a corner but still be all open if you're an archer civilization. I think that was the major downfall of MBL in his gameplay this game. Of course, some of it was his map, but I don't think that going into castles and then going into Shotel warriors was the preferred strategy. I think maybe a heavier investment into crossbows would have been a better call. Yes, of course, this is a recording. Called Games of the Week. Not Games of Right Now. So MBL still maintaining his control of this hill. I was Dogao. I would just trade skirmisher against, you know, arbalest and skirmisher, and that'll work out in your favor with the way this game is going. To maintain these positions, these Shotels, they're not going to do anything. Unfortunately, Dogao hasn't seen that gold, so you can imagine all the things you could do with 2,400 gold at this point in the game. And those are things that Dogao can't do right now. With 2,400 gold, it'll afford you a lot of cavalry archers, which are by far the strongest unit out in play right now. And it could afford you quite a bit of siege rams. They're very important as well. But without that extra gold, it kind of equalizes things a little bit. I still feel for MBL because he doesn't have a great raider. I think that even the weak Ethiopian light cab might be of some use. Would be a good unit to add into this army composition. But this is a pretty viable strategy as well. Just countering skirmisher with skirmisher, but at least get the last armor upgrade. There's no reason not to get the last armor upgrade. Here comes a few siege rams. Another group of units coming in from Dogao. I don't see that from MBL. And now the siege rams come in, but it's a little too late. The skirmishers mostly died. Trash wars. I don't think this game's gonna last too much longer, to be quite honest. The trash quality is not very comparable between Huns and Ethiopians. Pretty one-sided. And finally, it looks like Dogao is pushing up this hill with a few siege rams. Here's a big raid coming in. And a stable even being placed here in the north side. Counter raid from MBL, but again, these Shotels are not going to last too long. I mean... yeah. So that raid's going to do pretty well, I bet. Still holding on this bottom side. But all Dogao has to do is hold this position, trade against units, and try to raid as much as possible with Hussar. Finally, Ring Archer armor coming in from MBL. That's a big upgrade. I don't think MBL can win in this position, but I've been proven wrong recently with my games and my predictions, so I'll stay till the end. Look at how much movement we have across the map from Dogao. I just see units moving north, units moving south, even moving to the east. MBL stuck in a corner. And if MBL came back from this game, I would be very surprised. I can't say it'd be like the best comeback I've ever seen because I've seen some really good comebacks recently. But I would be very surprised. I would have to reevaluate my whole perspective on casting, let's put it that way. Alright, ton of Huns are coming down. I don't see any Haubs at all for MBL, and there's the GG, right as Dogao has to go get the phone. So I think really good gameplay from Dogao. When MBL went for that greedy fast castle, Dogao did punish, didn't kill MBL, but punished him enough. Was able to find the army of crossbows in the early castle age for MBL twice, and able to pick them off with skirmishers. Of course, Dogao did eventually lose the skirmishers to some big mangonel hits. But Dogao boomed his economy up well. The knights and skirmisher combination was very good. And then I think this might be a little bit of a weakness of the Ethiopians' gameplay. And certainly Dogao was aware of this. Dogao just made tons of skirmishers this game. Castle Age on. And so far we haven't seen any sort of good counter to the skirmishers from the Ethiopians. I think Onager would have been the best choice. Light Cav might have been useful, but I don't know if they would have fared any better than what MBL did. And I think that castle for Dogao might have been the game changer, because that castle bought enough time for Dogao to get his upgrades on his Cavalier, to get his skirmishers upgraded. Those Arbalest for MBL, just sitting up here in the front, not doing any damage, taking big mangonel shots. And that window of opportunity with MBL's early Imperial Age just closed very fast by Dogao stalling. Dogao taking out those Arbalest early on. And that was the game changer, in my opinion. So really good gameplay from Dogao. It's nice to see him at the top of the 1 versus 1 ladder once again. And we'll see more games from him shortly. I'll see you in the next one.